About 3 years ago, with above a 4.0 GPA, I was rejected by every single UC school as a business major. Now, fast forward 3 years later, I've just finished my first year at UC Berkeley as an applied math major. Today, I'm going to be talking about how I transferred to the #1 public school in the world with not a 4.0 GPA. Hey there, I'm Caleb. I go to UC Berkeley right now. I was able to transfer without a 4.0. I got a C. I played college soccer. I worked 2 jobs and I lived on my own. How did I get into UC Berkeley without a 4.0 GPA? Today I'm going to share my journey from high school to community college, now at UC Berkeley. I'm going to break down my stats, my essays, and talk about life now here at Berkeley. My room's a little messy. I'm moving in right now. We start school in a couple days. Okay, so back in high school, I had above a 4.0 GPA. I think at graduation, I had a 4.3 GPA. I applied basically everywhere as a business major. Everywhere that I applied to as a business major, I got rejected, except for one school, which was Pepperdine. I got in for finance. The 2 other schools that I got into were LMU, Loyola Marymount in Los Angeles, and I got in for information systems. And I also got in for information systems at Cal State Long Beach. It really didn't feel like going to any of those schools. Pepperdine was about $80,000, $90,000 a year. LMU was about $60,000 a year. So I decided to go to community college. I had some other friends that were going there, so it wasn't that bad. It ended up being a really good experience for me. You know, I was a little embarrassed at first that I was going there. I got a chance to play college soccer. I thought that I was gonna continue to play soccer as I transferred. I was recruiting for mostly, Division III, Division II schools. And then when I got into Berkeley, a lot of the schools that I was talking to, I was like, hey coach, I just got into Berkeley. I think I'm gonna decide to, pursue education rather than collegiate sports. Still play like IM sports, things here and there, but I decided to focus more on school. So let's go back to high school. I had above a 4.0. I was a tri-varsity athlete, cross country, track, soccer. Our soccer team was ranked top 10 in California, I think 35th in the United States. I played MLS Next, DA. Me and my friend Christian, we have the hurdle relay, record for our high school. So I was okay. I wasn't like insane, but pretty good at our school. I always did pretty good. Passed my AP classes, got 3s, 4s, 5s. So at Miracosta, I got to keep playing soccer. We won conference for the first time in our school's history, which was super sick. I would be there from about 9 to 5 every day because I had class in the morning, I had practice in the afternoon, class in the evening. So I'd kind of just hang out there, do some homework there, hang out with all the other STEM people. So that was kind of my life there. At Miracosta, it was an amazing experience. 2 of my friends got into Stanford, which is like a 1% acceptance rate for transfers. One of our friends, was going to Cornell, UCLA, UCI, UC Davis, like everywhere. Roommate Arda, who's right over there, he also makes YouTube videos about life as a CS student. So if you're a little interested in what life is like as a CS student in the Bay, make sure to go watch those videos. They're all amazing. I watch every single one. Okay, my stats. What were my stats there? Looking at my UC app. Made the president's list, the permanent president's honor roll, the dean's list, Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, played college soccer, was active in Kiwanis Club International. I earned my real estate license. That's right, if you want to buy or sell a house, hit me up, I can do that. I worked at In-N-Out, founded Kicks for Kids, which is a nonprofit that, gets cleats and running shoes, and we partnered with Protect Our Daughters, which is a organization in Africa. I joined the Computer Science for Common Good Club, and I had a photography publication of this artwork that I did. Those were kind of my accolades. Now let's get into the UC essays. So the UC essays were key. They're tough to write, but it really allows you to kind of showcase yourself. You get a chance to say who you are. So I answered 4 prompts. The 4 prompts that I talked about were the leadership one, the creative side one, greatest talent, and the major prep. That's the required one as a transfer. And if you want, I can go a little bit deeper, but for the leadership one, I talked about how I helped self-fundraise for my soccer team. We won a tournament. I got a chance to go play in Germany, and I had previously played in England, and I self-fundraised. So led some of my teammates because none of us could really afford to just go to Europe whenever we wanted. So we had to do some fundraising. I kind of just talked about how I was able to organize certain events, doing a lemonade stand, very big lemonade stand, selling Christmas trees, delivering them to people, recycling, because in California you're able to recycle and get money for it. Some different ways to raise money, and we're able to basically have our entire team go just from this fundraising. On my creative side, I talked about how I always wanted to be a CEO of Party Time USA, which is something that I did in elementary school with my friends, just kind of messing around, and then talking about how my creative outlets, always kind of evolve from elementary school, middle school, high school, and now in college, how they're always like constantly evolving and growing, how I'm always looking to innovate and, lead a team. That was kind of what I talked about on the creative side. On my greatest talent, I really just said that my greatest talent was being able to publicly speak. It was something that I wasn't very good at originally. I always liked talking to people, but publicly talking to people in front of a crowd, literally just taking orders at In-N-Out, it was always a little intimidating for me. But, after I got over that, I was able to excel, and it really helped me a lot in my life. So I kind of just talked about that story. Major preparation to be able to transfer. The thing that I talked about was how at community college, balancing 2 jobs, college sports, being in clubs, and being a STEM major, while also getting my real estate license and doing things like that. I just showed that the skill that I learned was time management. And as I transferred to Berkeley, those skills, and as I go into my career, those things will continue to help me every single day. So those were all the things that I talked about in the essays. Leadership, the creative side, greatest talent, and the major preparation. It's important to just be authentic. Talk about why you are the way that you are. Like, they see my transcript, they see that I got a C. Why did I get a C? When they're looking at my essays, they're going, oh, shoot, you know what? Maybe this was a one-off thing. It was during soccer season. He got A's in the rest of his classes. Maybe it was just, a bad class. But yeah, I'm very happy. I think this is exactly where God wanted me to be. Very happy with the fact that I got in. I thank God. But now at Berkeley, what is life like at Berkeley now? Everything's great. My roommates are awesome. Shout out Arda, who also makes the videos. For my fun clubs, I'm in the ski and snowboard club. I'm in a church club where we do IM Sports, Scholars of Finance, which is a professional development club, as well as Berkeley Venture Capital. Was able to be elected to VP positions in both of those clubs. Classes are really hard, but it's okay. Everyone that I've met has been totally awesome, and they push me in different aspects of my life, growing closer to God, or work, or school, or just being a human being. It's been a really neat experience. Now that I'm in Berkeley, I'm trying to focus a little less on my grades. Maybe I should focus a little bit more, but really trying to focus my time and energy into meeting people, connections, developing myself and my skill sets, so that when I go into industry, I can take what I learned in school, take what I learned in life, and really apply it versus, just fully just keeping my head down, going to the library all the time, which I still do, but also trying to enjoy it a little bit, because I know I'm going to have my entire life to work. So I'm trying to enjoy it a little bit right now while I still can, while also making connections across a ton of different industries, which Berkeley is a great place to be able to do that, because there's so many different people that are really passionate and really want to be successful. And so it really pushes everyone in not a crazy, insane way, but you can make it a very fun way, as long as you're surrounding yourself with the right people. If you can take anything away from this, say embrace your path. Not everyone needs to go straight to a 4-year. Not everyone needs to go to community college, whether you got into Berkeley right away, or you're going to community college, trying to go to Berkeley, or trying to go to UCLA. Berkeley wasn't even my top choice. My top choice was Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and I didn't even get in there. But I'm so happy that I didn't. I'm so happy that I'm going to Berkeley, because I know wherever you're going, it is exactly where you're supposed to be going. A not perfect GPA is not a deal breaker. Plenty of people are able to get in. If you're, CS or EECS, it can be a little bit more difficult because it's crazy hyper competitive. Math is a little less competitive. But you know what? When you're in college, get involved in clubs. Play some fun sports, or meet people, or just do some random things. Do some things that you would never have a chance to do later in your life. And don't be afraid to ask for help. There's always going to be people there. They're going to be helping you every step of the way, whether it's a counselor, a professor, a friend, a classmate. There's going to be someone who's going to be willing to help you. So just be not afraid to reach out and ask for help. That is my story about how I transferred from community college to UC Berkeley. Hopefully that answered some of your questions. That might have been a little fast, or maybe some stories kind of were drawn out. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to continue the investment series, but I'm also going to be talking about how to get into clubs at UC Berkeley. So make sure to, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss another episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Caleb Kawano. I'll see you later.